Real America's Voice is growing, and now it's all in one place. Introducing the new and improved RAV app, built for access, community, and choice, not paywalls. Here's the key. RAV is still free to watch. No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office, you're crushing it, my friend.
And if you want more, the members section is your backstage pass. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, insider moments from the studio and the field, and early access to new content before it goes public. Members can also unlock special experiences like virtual meet and greets, member-only auctions, and select event access, plus commercial-free viewing of certain shows inside the app. It's not just an app, it's a community. Download the RAV app today. Find it in the App Store and Google Play.
Terrence Bates here with your Real America's Voice news break. Thanks so much for being here with us. Congress is working to get the government fully funded. Procedural votes are expected as soon as today, with passage of the appropriations bills happening potentially as soon as tomorrow. In the meantime, President Trump is back at the White House right now. That's also where RAV congressional correspondent Benny Ray Harmony is. Benny Ray, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Terrence. Yeah, it is lots of noise happening here on Capitol Hill today and expected tomorrow as well.
All right, so let's start there with Capitol Hill and this budget thing. It's drawn out. Obviously, last week, President Trump brokered a deal for the Senate to pass these appropriation bills. Now it's back up to the House to kind of reconfirm and get them passed. Speaker Mike Johnson says he thinks he's got the votes to get this thing over the finish line. What's the buzz, if you will, though, around Capitol Hill as it relates to that?
Yeah, Terrence, well, the biggest thing is that a lot of people expected this partial government shutdown to end today, first thing this morning, after that funding ran out at 11:59 on Saturday night. But, you know, Hakeem Jeffries, he said that the Democrats, he said they would not partake in making this a smooth and fast passing of these appropriation bills because they're holding up on those DHS funding. But the thing is, Terrence, is that bill, that DHS appropriations bill, that isn't even in those 5 minibus bills that were passed by the Senate on Friday. So now we do expect, like you said, Speaker Johnson said tomorrow he expects he will have enough support for those votes. But Terrence, I want to point out there is only a 2-person difference in the majority. The GOP only holds 2 seats, above the Democrats. And so this is looking to could potentially be a little messy. There's so much noise happening from, Schumer and the Senate leaders to the House leaders and what Johnson is saying and what President Trump has said that he will ensure the shutdown does not last long. It's really up in the air as of now. Like I said, the 2 seats is the big thing. Now, Anna Paulina Luna, she mentioned, great congresswoman, by the way, but she is also saying that she will not vote to pass these appropriation bills unless Johnson adds in that SAVE Act, which we've heard a lot about election integrity. So I honestly, Terrence, I am not quite sure what that vote is going to look like.
I'm curious if there's any wrangling within the White House, and maybe the White House is keeping its cards close to its vest. But any information from the White House related to whether they're making phone calls, whether they're encouraging lawmakers who may be on the fence to kind of push them back over the fence?
No, Terrence, we have not heard anything on that front. It's pretty light here at the White House today. The president does not, as of now, have anything open. So we have not been hearing a lot from lower press, from that press office in Caroline Leavitt. But I assume at that 3 p.m. signing today that we do expect here at the White House, hopefully the president will address in some sorts this government shutdown, because I know a lot of people are worried about this and they don't want to see that 42-day shutdown again like we saw in October and November. Truthfully, Terrence, the country cannot handle another shutdown of that sort. And then looking forward 2 weeks, that is when the DHS funding is going to run out. So can we expect arguments? Can we expect conversations? What is that going to look like, truthfully?
No, absolutely. You mentioned this signing. At this point, we don't know exactly what the signing will entail. But if, in fact, it does open up to the media, I imagine that the focus of the questions will be about this government shutdown and how to potentially move forward. You've got to imagine that's what all the questions, or at least a large part of the questions, will focus on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up, because that is the focus of a lot of reporters, a lot of correspondents here at the White House today, is that government shutdown. Because usually we hear a lot from the president, but even these past, even last week, Terrence, we were in that cabinet meeting with President Trump. He touched on the government shutdown right at the beginning. He said that he is not going to let it shut down again. But we did see, this weekend it did shut down. But he didn't even take questions from reporters that day in the cabinet meeting. And so what is he keeping his cards close to his chest? We know President Trump, he in some ways does like to surprise people, and he likes to talk about things once he has a solution to them. I think that's one of the greatest things about this presidency is just the fact that when he speaks, it's real, and it's about something that's truthfully happening right now. So I hope he speaks on that today and we get more answers for you, Terrence.
Absolutely. Benny Ray Harmony reporting at the White House. We, of course, will have more coverage for you throughout the day.
Minnesota's headlines are getting wild. Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar are being accused of massive fraud, and it's so bad, all you can do is laugh at this point. So from Real America's Music, the label that brought you the #1 hit, Anthem of the Free, comes a brand new song from singer-songwriter Natasha Owens, The Somali Waltz. Let's make the music industry mad and run this to #1. Scan the QR code or search The Somali Waltz on iTunes and buy it right now. The Somali Waltz, available everywhere. Factories from small towns to city streets. This is the fight for the soul of our nation.
We're watching Democrats attack democracy. Do not be fooled.
The strength, the grit, the greatness of the American spirit, all right here.
The left wanted power, not peace, but there's a resistance rising. A generation saying enough, enough. We've tried it their way, and it failed.
The Steve Gruber Show with your host, Steve Gruber, starts right now.
Welcome to it as we kick off another brand new action-packed day, fighting for you from the foxhole of freedom. Making sure you have the right person to be shoulder to shoulder with when it matters most. Who do you want in your foxhole? Let's get rolling today. A big day. Lots to cover. Three big things, starting with this. #1, President Trump giving his endorsement in the pivotal Senate race in New Hampshire to former Senator John Sununu, whom he called an America First patriot. #2, Costa Rica elected a pro-Trump right-wing president, echoing her counterparts in Argentina, Chile, Honduras, and elsewhere. The Western Hemisphere is turning to America and our president while rejecting leftists. And #3, speaking of leftists, Democrats still using Nazi name-calling rhetoric to demonize our federal government. The latest being Pennsylvania District Attorney Larry Krasner. He's in Philadelphia. He made this absurd threat against our federal agents recently. If you didn't hear it, you should. Listen.
This is a small bunch of wannabe Nazis. That's what they are. In a country of 350 million, we outnumber them. If we have to hunt you down the way they hunted down Nazis for decades, we will find your identities. We will find you. We will achieve justice.
He's going to attack federal agents. Krasner doesn't give a crap about justice in Philadelphia. He's earned the name Let Him Go Larry because he's so lenient on actual crime and criminals. I mean, he is among the radical DAs backed by George Soros to obtain such an office in the first place. So what would you expect? George Soros pumped in $1.5 million into Krasner's run for office, all to elect a guy who only prosecutes about 30% of violent crime. That's right, 30% of violent crime. That's it. So while Larry Krasner lets off the actual criminals, he just issued a death wish on all ICE agents and operations in Philadelphia. And he knows it. Krasner and the rest of those just like him know exactly what they're doing. They're riling up the radicals to do the dirty work for them, fighting Trump and his objectives. They don't care who gets hurt in the process. They're undermining America. That's the point. This is an unprecedented level of hate being thrown toward our ICE agents, especially by an elected official. But I got to tip my hat to Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. He doesn't agree with me on probably much of anything, but at least he had the integrity to call Krasner's comments for what they are. Here he is.
What's your take on that? That kind of rhetoric is unacceptable, it is abhorrent, and it is wrong. Period. Hard stop. End of sentence. I think what we need, and I've called for this in Minnesota, and I practice this in Pennsylvania, is we need to bring down the rhetoric, bring down the temperature, and create calm in the community.
I'd like to see Governor Shapiro do more to bring that kind of rhetoric down, but that's a start. And it should be no brainer for every sensible Democrat to do the very same thing. Of course, we're not seeing that at all. It's no longer a conspiracy theory that elected officials are a part of the signal chats that have been used to orchestrate the violence and chaos against ICE in Minnesota that was just mentioned there by the governor. In fact, the Minneapolis Teachers Union chief has probably declared that fact for all to hear. Here it is.
The notion that people that are actively engaged in ICE Watch, in being vigilant in protecting our neighbors, in signal chat groups, running plates in their cars, doing patrols, that somehow we're ashamed of that activity, that somehow you can call our bosses or show our faces and then we would be shunned by our community. Our bosses are in the signal chats with us.
Our bosses are in the signal chats with us. She's loud and proud about it. There really should be consequences for that kind of behavior by public officials targeting law enforcement. Title 18 of the United States Code, Section 372, makes it a federal crime for two or more people to conspire to prevent, by force, intimidation, or threat any U.S. officer from performing his or her duties, which is exactly what I would argue is happening in those signal chats. In Title 8, Section 1324 makes it illegal to harbor, shield, or conceal any illegal alien, which is the express purpose of all these people who say they're out protecting their neighbors. The only neighbor that ICE is going after is the illegal alien criminal. Why would you want that person as your neighbor in the first place? I can assure you I wouldn't. You know who doesn't have illegal aliens as neighbors? The Hollywood elites, of course, who showed up at the Grammys this last weekend with their ICE out pins, pretending to show their support for a cause that they're not doing anything meaningful about. It's just virtue signaling, you know that. These people are protected from the ugly consequences of illegal immigration, but they're all out about supporting the protesters who want to stupidly risk their lives assaulting federal agents in the name of preserving illegal aliens and immigration. For example, here's the acceptance speech that music artist Billie Eilish made. Listen to this.
No one is illegal on stolen land. And yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now. And I feel really
I would just shut up.
Hopeful in this room, and I feel.
First of all, how can land be stolen if borders don't exist like you want? Of course, that doesn't make any sense, but look, she's not that bright. Second, she's a multi-millionaire worth about $50 million net worth. Private security 24 hours a day. But she wants to deny basic security to you and the rest of America who can't afford to have a bodyguard trail them at all times of the day. Here's the gate to Billie's $14 million home in Glendale. Walls for me, not for thee. That's what it looks like. Big walls. You can't even see the house from the road at any angle. Why doesn't she offer to house illegal aliens in her home? It's $14 million. I think it's 6 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms. Man, she could put a whole herd of people in there. Let them live in the garage, the outbuildings. It'd be spectacular. Better yet, why doesn't she just donate her home to the Tongva tribe, the natives who lived in Glendale before Spain and Mexico colonized that area? I bet the Tongva people really appreciate it. She won't do either of those things, of course. Why? She doesn't believe any of that garbage she's saying. She just wants to be accepted by the elite crowd. It's called virtue signaling again. I want you to know what I was encouraged by the very few amount of celebrities who don't care about that anymore, who have other messages to offer. Even if it means they're not as popular is her. Here's sports broadcaster Emily Austin's reaction to the Ice Out hysteria. Listen.
Standing ovation for Ice Out. I'm going to sit down. You should all be ashamed of yourself. We love America. I love our law enforcement.
I love our law enforcement. It's rare, but I love to see it. When we come back, better examples of our better angels and some better celebrities. It's coming up. Nice to see you this morning. This is the Steve Gruber Show.
Minnesota's headlines are getting wild. Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar are being accused of massive fraud, and it's so bad, all you can do is laugh at this point. So from Real America's Music, the label that brought you the #1 hit, Anthem of the Free, comes a brand new song from singer-songwriter Natasha Owens, The Somali Waltz. Let's make the music industry mad and run this to #1. Scan the QR code or search The Somali Waltz on iTunes and buy it right now. The Somali Waltz, available everywhere. Real America's Voice is growing, and now it's all in one place. Introducing the new and improved RAV app, built for access, community, and choice, not paywalls. Here's the key. RAV is still free to watch. No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office, you're crushing it, my friend.
And if you want more, the members section is your backstage pass. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, insider moments from the studio and the field, and early access to new content before it goes public. Members can also unlock special experiences like virtual meet and greets, member-only auctions, and select event access, plus commercial-free viewing of certain shows inside the app. It's not just an app, it's a community. Download the RAV app today. Find it in the App Store and Google Play.
Flash a source in the chat. I love Real America's Voice because I can watch news being delivered to me live while I chat with the family I love. Flash a source in the chat. I love Real America's Voice because I can watch news being delivered to me live while I chat with the family I love.
From Muskegon, Michigan. Why do you love RAV?
Because we've become family. All those RAV live chatters and me.
You saw Emily Austin there, and I don't know who she is. She's some sports reporter, saying she loves law enforcement. Okay, so that's a step in the right direction, but Jelly Roll. If you missed it, I wanted to play this today. Jelly Roll, the former drug addict turned sober country star. He spent his time focused on Jesus. Jesus. Not politics, not ICE, Jesus. Listen to this.
And I want to tell y'all right now, Jesus is for everybody. Jesus is not owned by one political party. Jesus is not owned by no music label. Jesus is Jesus, and anybody can have a relationship with him. I love you, Lord.
Yeah. I'm glad the crowd is cheering, but you already know that they stop cheering when you start talking about what the Bible actually says about justice and protecting the vulnerable from criminals. But it's still heartwarming to see a celebrity who doesn't feel the need to join in the ice out propaganda nonsense, but delivers a message like that instead, even at a time when some of the left are trying to take Bible verses out of context daily to justify their hatred toward ICE. Nicki Minaj, another celebrity who has stepped away from the liberal Hollywood groupthink, and in a big way. Listen to what she has to say.
I am probably the president's #1 fan. And that's not going to change. And the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. And it's going to motivate all of us to support him more. We're not going to let them get away with bullying him and, the smear campaigns. It's not going to work.
Yeah. Loud and proud. She's taken to Twitter as well to share some of the opinions she shares with President Trump. She writes, quote, "What sensible, forward-thinking, cutting-edge leading nation is having a debate on whether or not there should be voter ID? They're actually fighting not to have people present ID while voting for your leaders. Do you get it? Do you get it now?" It's common sense stuff, and people are waking up to it. Like how she's come to this conclusion, writing, "They're flying in immigrants to vote because they reneged on all the promises they made to African Americans and can no longer get the African American vote by default. Something I've been telling you here. Black voters are leaving." It's a bold claim. It's gotten her a lot of hate, as you can expect. She didn't even attend the Grammys. But the host, Trevor Noah, of course, he got his digs in as if he's relevant. Here's a bit of it.
Nicki Minaj is not here. She is not here. She is still at the White House with Donald Trump discussing very important issues. Actually, Nikki, I have the biggest ass. I have it. Everybody's saying it, Nikki. I know they say it's you, but it's me. Wop, wop, wop. Look at it. Look at it, baby. Jennifer.
I mean, please. That's not even nearly as bad as Jimmy Kimmel's latest meltdown. Jimmy Kimmel's an embarrassment to himself. His attack on Nikki, calling for shoes to be thrown at her, all because she supports her president. Oh, Jimmy.
There she is. She's right. You see her, the black woman, the only black woman in the whole room? That's her. I think Trump's looking for a Nicki Minaj à trois because she really seems to dig him. This is one of his strangest bedfellows yet. I mean, where is Cardi B with a fistful of shoes when you need her? Again, this...
Yeah, anyhow. These people are all about supporting black women on account of their race and gender. That is, until a black woman has the nerve to start thinking for herself and sharing an opinion they don't like. We were told, you're supposed to say this. Defying the narrative is a dangerous thing to do. You were told what to say. Nikki doing it proudly. And one can only hope that more follow in her footsteps instead of following the rest of the sheep in the crowd. The powerful and elite like Larry Krasner, Billie Eilish. They've decided that hate is good if it gives them more claps and cheers. Well, they won't be getting that here. Now, will they? No, they won't. All right. I want to quickly give you an update on another story here that I have been following. And that is the story of Nancy Guthrie. She is the mother of Savannah Guthrie, the Today Show celebrity. And Savannah Guthrie and I don't have much in common at all. I don't get her take on certain news stories, but this is her 84-year-old mother, abducted from her Tucson area home. Happened Saturday night. She lives in the foothills of Tucson. Nice home. Nothing extraordinary, but nice. She's lived there for 50 years. She was apparently abducted from her bed on Saturday night. She was dropped off by Savannah's sister, actually. They had gone to dinner, played a couple of games, and then went on their way. She was later abducted, apparently dragged from her home, according to the evidence of the scene. She left her wallet, her phone, and more importantly, her medication. Medication, we're told, is required to keep her alive. So even though I may not have much in common with Savannah Guthrie, I do have this. It's her mom. It's an 84-year-old woman who was very clear of mind, not a dementia issue here. She didn't wander off. In fact, she couldn't. Her mobility is terrible, apparently. She couldn't go more than 50 yards, they say. So this is a grim situation. Dragged off. They're desperate for information. And I say, we're not them. We don't cheer this. They cheered the murder of Charlie Kirk. That is not us. It will never be us. So I say, my friends, say prayers for the return of Nancy Guthrie. I don't know her state, but I know it's somebody's mom who was dragged off in the middle of the night, and that's wrong. And we're better than that. So stand up and do the right thing. Say prayers for people that need it today. We'll keep you up on the story as well as we can, because it's heartbreaking. Don't know. I know the Border Patrol is involved. There's no known connection here, but she's only about 60 miles from the border. She had a lot of people that did the upkeep on her home because she wasn't capable. It's been 3, now almost 4 days. And we will keep Nancy Guthrie in our prayers here, because that's who we are. This segment proudly sponsored by PuroClean's Veterans Initiative, PuroVet, where veterans find purpose in property restoration and company ownership, entrepreneurship. We salute those who serve, and you can get to the front of the line. No franchise fees and a chance to get something in return. Call 855-PuroVet or go to purovet.com. If you're a veteran or if you know somebody who is, big chance right here. 855-PuroVet, purovet.com. I'll be right back.
When the lights go down, the truth comes out.
This is built like a chicken McNugget, but...
This is After Hours with Alex Stein. No filter.
You're a globalist. You don't care about America.
No apologies.
You're a pro-abortion when you should have been aborted.
The undisputed king of trolling.
I was recently sexually assaulted within the metaverse.
I want to vaccinate your mom.
They tried to cancel us.
Deplatforming works.
She wants to kill babies, but she's still beautiful. Look at that booty on AOC. That's my favorite big booty Latina.
Politics, culture, hypocrisy.
They want them to have their penises cut off.
Uncensored and uncontrolled.
Cut your penis off, Max. That's what I'm saying. They admit they want to cut people's penises off.
Late night just got dangerous. After Hours with Alex Stein. Coming soon to Real America's Voice.
Now, this story hasn't gotten much attention, but it's really important. That you know that Costa Rica, lovely country, been there a number of times. It's a terrific place. The people are just spectacular. I love the food, and Ivy speaks pretty good Spanish, well enough to certainly understand and talk, so she's like my personal interpreter. So it's pretty cool. Laura Fernandez will be Costa Rica's next president. All right? She's 39 years old, pushing forward with a populist mandate set by her predecessor that includes promises of constitutional reform, suspension of the civil liberties to fight crime at a time of surging drug violence. She's going after them. She's going after them. She built her career as a political advisor and civil servant at Costa Rica's Ministry of National Planning and Economic Policy. A fierce supporter of the current president, Rodrigo Chavez, Fernandez went on to be his chief of staff before launching her campaign for president and winning, endorsed by Donald Trump. The latest example of freedom sweeping the Western Hemisphere. You've got Argentina, you've got Honduras, you've got Chile, you've got Costa Rica. Socialists are being kicked out for being utter failures for so long, and freedom is taking root in the Western Hemisphere like nowhere else in the world. And we should be celebrating that for sure. We should be celebrating that for sure. Now, let me be blunt. If weight loss was a one-size-fits-all, it would have worked by now. No shots, no pills, no potions, no lotions. Here's an idea, something all natural. My Pure Health Solutions. They start with a body scan, and you're given a customized plan made for you as an individual. Plus, you get your own health coach who meets with you and guides you through it. 40 days, simple rules and real results. Then they show you how to keep it off. It worked for me in 2018. How do I look? Anthony? Huh?
You're pretty good.
Yeah.
You're a 7 out of 10.
Yeah. A 7? Yeah. That's it?
Yeah.
If you want to lose weight, be like me. Go to GruberHealth.com. All my listeners get a discount. GruberHealth.com. You can find out more. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's a one-size-fits-you. They can do it anywhere in America. Anywhere in America. They can do a complete body scan, show you what works for you and what doesn't work for you. It is a remarkable program. A 7. He said 7. GruberHealth.com. Feel great. And be better than a 7.
Take it back. It's a 10 out of 10, Steve.
Attaboy. I knew he'd see the light. More after this.
When the lights go down, the truth comes out.
This is built like a chicken McNugget, but...
This is After Hours with Alex Stein. No filter.
You're a globalist. You don't care about America.
No apologies.
You're a pro-abortion when you should have been aborted.
The undisputed king of trolling.
I was recently sexually assaulted within the metaverse.
I want to vaccinate your mom.
They tried to cancel us.
Deplatforming works.
She wants to kill babies, but she's still beautiful. Look at that booty on AOC. That's my favorite big booty Latina.
Politics, culture, hypocrisy.
They want them to have their penises cut off.
Uncensored and uncontrolled.
That's what I'm saying. They admit they want to cut people's penises off.
Late night just got dangerous. After Hours with Alex Stein. Coming soon to Real America's Voice.
This holiday season, Real America's Voice is proud to partner with our friends at Angel Studios for a special giveaway you won't want to miss. As they launch Season 2 of their hit series Homestead, we're giving you the chance to win an exclusive Homestead hat absolutely free. Everyone who becomes an Angel Guild member using our link is automatically entered to the contest. When you join, you're supporting meaningful pro-American storytelling, and you're supporting RAV at the same time. Scan the QR code on your screen right now, or text the word RAVAngel to 75802. After you scan or text, make sure you follow the steps provided. When you complete the steps and join the Angel Guild, you'll be automatically entered to win that exclusive Homestead hat, a perfect holiday gift for yourself or someone you love.
Be one of the first 50 people to sign up and win a hat automatically. Hurry while there's still time.
So scan that QR code or text RAVAngel to 75802. Happy holidays from all of us at RAV.
My name is Phoebe, and I live in Florida. I love Real America's Voice. They truly speak for the people, and that's what real patriotism is all about.
Florida Sun Goddess here. Let me tell you why I love RAV. They let my voice be heard. They give me a platform for community so I don't feel alone. Thanks so much. God bless.
It's Mama Love in northern Minnesota. You know, a collective voice is much louder than a single voice. Thanks, RAV, for giving us a place to chat and connect. See y'all in chat.
All right, let's just jump right back into it with Ryan Clancy, chief strategist at No Labels. Ryan, good to have you here. One of the big headlines over the past few weeks has been Greenland. And it seems that, you know, every time Donald Trump does something, on the left, their hair catches fire. It's all right. They don't understand geopolitics particularly well. They obviously don't have a globe at home to see the Greenland, the biggest island in the world, is strategic to us and pushes right into the Arctic. And with Russia and China trying to dominate the Arctic and Canada being basically worthless at this point, we have no choice but to protect ourselves. That's my take on it. Welcome to the program. What are your thoughts?
So, Steve, I think we did a primer for our community last week on this, and totally independent Donald Trump's tactics, which we can dispute whether those are good or bad. We just wanted to look at exactly what you said, which is the strategic impact to Greenland, and it is a critically strategically important country for the United States. One of the things we looked at, for example, is if you look at a shipping route from Russia, the time going through the Greenland Pass as opposed to where you'd go today, it's 40% less. So you can see why that would be so important to other countries. If you look at our missile defense, we already have a missile defense station up there in northern Greenland. More would probably be better. So you're right, it is very strategically important.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And look, when you look at the Golden Dome, for example, missile defense, which you mentioned, critically important that we have Greenland. We've had a working relationship with the Kingdom of Denmark and Greenland for a number of years. Look, Denmark surrendered to the Nazis in about 5 minutes in World War II, and we were left with the Greenland Defense Pact for World War II. We have been the defense of Greenland my entire life already. The fact of the matter is this country has had its sights set on Greenland since 1867, made numerous attempts and overtures to buy the island, and they have failed. Now, I don't know about Trump's strategies, but he tends to get what he wants. And what he wants is American control, at least on some portions of Greenland, so we can have a larger military presence. We can control those shipping lanes that you mentioned and protect ourselves. Again, I don't put any faith in Canada. I don't put any faith in NATO to protect our country at all. I mean, I don't think there's a credible military on the European continent except maybe France. The rest have shirked all of their responsibilities. They haven't kept their militaries up to speed or up to date. I mean, how am I wrong?
Well, Steve, you're certainly right about the militaries of Canada and Europe. I think where the president is making a mistake is the push to acquire Greenland at all costs over the objections of the Danes, the Greenlands, and really the American public. Like the public isn't so keen on us acquiring Greenland and making it Puerto Rico or Guam, for example.
You see, Ryan, I don't think that's what he's doing. I think it's a negotiation. You say, I want all of this. Well, that's not really what you want. What you want is back here somewhere, which is exactly what he's going to get. He's going to get everything he wants. Denmark's going to continue to pay the bills for Greenland. We're going to have access to what we need to protect ourselves. To me, it's a negotiating tactic. You say the most outrageous, outlandish thing. You know, I see this when I haggle with people on the streets, right? When you're trying to buy something. It's no different to me. Your thoughts?
Well, look, we already have an agreement with Greenland that was signed in the 50s that gives us pretty broad access to the island. I mean, at the height of the Cold War, we had over 20 bases on Greenland, and we have the capacity to rebuild a lot of those under the current agreement. So I do think, obviously, coming out of that meeting in Davos, you heard the president talk about that there was going to be a deal that we were going to be very happy with. We're still waiting for the details on that. But I think you're right. My expectation is we'll have a significantly expanded military presence on Greenland here in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I think we will have an expanded role there. And here's what I predicted a number of times when this began. We will have operational control. And you make the point about the deal from the 1950s. That's true. But we're going to expand our operational control. And in fact, the way it sounds to me, we might have bases like we have in Cuba and elsewhere, larger pieces of tracts of land that are permanently ours effectively. And that's important. I don't need control of Greenland. I'd like to go there and fly fish for Atlantic salmon. I think that would be spectacular. It is the holy grail, but we don't need Greenland. We don't need to pay their bills. And the world has failed us. Look, NATO is a failure. The United Nations is a failure, in my estimation. The United Nations just issued, and I'm going to share this with the folks a little bit later. The United Nations announced yesterday, if you missed it, Ryan, that they cannot sustain anything that they're doing unless the United States foots the bill again. It's always the same story. Oh, we need all these great things. The World Health Organization, we said no. And I wonder if the United Nations is even sustainable without the money. Billions of dollars are saying the United States has to pay these billions of dollars now or their activities are going to cease to exist. And I would say to the United Nations, so what? What war have you ever stopped? What genocide have you ever prevented? Right? We're at a point where all these old alliances, people are like, well, we're breaking old alliances. If they don't work, Ryan, if they haven't been successful, why continue on the same path?
Well, Steve, I'd say you're 1 for 2 there. I would completely agree with you on the United Nations and its ineffectiveness. I mean, one of the longest running jokes is if you look at the UN Human Rights Council, for example, it usually has the worst human rights abusers on it. Look, NATO has been a very valuable alliance for the United States. Look, I think one of the places...
Past tense.
Well, it has been, but I think one of the places where President Trump erred is when he completely dismissed NATO a couple weeks ago, said they weren't there on the front lines. You look at 9/11, thousands of NATO allies, including a lot of Danes, died alongside Americans in Afghanistan. And in fact, the only time in the history of NATO that Article 5 has ever been invoked, which, as you know, is the provision that an attack on one NATO member is an attack on all of us, was after 9/11, and the NATO coalition came to our defense. So I do think it has been valuable to the defense of the U.S.
Yeah, but let me just make it this simple, Ryan. If the United States was actually attacked, and I don't mean a one-off to the World Trade Center, terrible thing, almost 3,000 people died, Article 5 invoked, fine. If we were really looking and staring down the idea of Russian subs north of Greenland with nuclear-tipped missiles, what is NATO going to do for the United States? They don't have a viable military except for France, possibly. Germany, no. The UK, no. What, Denmark's going to come protect the United States? I'm sorry, I don't believe any of that. I don't believe that. I believe the United States would be on its own if something of that magnitude actually occurred. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a cynic. But they've given me no evidence, no anecdotal evidence to prove otherwise.
Yeah, look, you're certainly right now. I think the open question is, and this is something constructive President Trump has done as it regards to NATO, is if 5 years from now they have their defense spending up till 5% of GDP, which is the level President Trump wanted them at, then maybe they do have more capacity than they have today.
They agreed to those levels and then never paid their bills. And always did the same thing. Oh, America will protect us. Let's send America the bill. Hey, you know what? America's going to send us all the weapons we need. And we'll send them the bill for that, too. Maybe NATO is still relevant in some fashion, but not to the degree it was in, say, 1945. That's what I would...
Oh, that's for sure. And they have a lot to prove. They've made these promises on defense. They got to come through on them.
Correct. Ryan Clancy, good conversation. Chief Strategist, no labels. Thank you for being here. These are important topics to wade through. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Really appreciate it. What do you think? Send me an email, stevegruber.com. What do you think about NATO today, 2026? Viable, important, or out of date? I'll be right back.
When the lights go down, the truth comes out.
This is built like a chicken McNugget, but...
This is After Hours with Alex Stein. No filter.
You're a globalist. You don't care about America.
No apologies.
You're a pro-abortion when you should have been aborted.
The undisputed king of trolling.
I was recently sexually assaulted within the metaverse.
I want to vaccinate your mom.
They tried to cancel us.
Deplatforming works.
She wants to kill babies, but she's still beautiful. Look at that booty on AOC. That's my favorite big booty Latina.
Politics, culture, hypocrisy.
They want them to have their penises cut off.
Uncensored and uncontrolled.
Cut your penis off, actually.
That's what I'm saying. They admit they want to cut people's penises off.
Late night just got dangerous. After Hours with Alex Stein. Coming soon to Real America's Voice.
This holiday season, Real America's Voice is proud to partner with our friends at Angel Studios for a special giveaway you won't want to miss. As they launch Season 2 of their hit series Homestead, we're giving you the chance to win an exclusive Homestead hat absolutely free. Everyone who becomes an Angel Guild member using our link is automatically entered to the contest. When you join, you're supporting meaningful pro-American storytelling, and you're supporting RAV at the same time. Scan the QR code on your screen right now, or text the word RAVAngel to 75802. After you scan or text, make sure you follow the steps provided. When you complete the steps and join the Angel Guild, you'll be automatically entered to win that exclusive Homestead hat, a perfect holiday gift for yourself or someone you love.
Be one of the first 50 people to sign up and win a hat automatically. Hurry while there's still time.
So scan that QR code or text RAVAngel to 75802. Happy holidays from all of us at RAV.
My name is Phoebe, and I live in Florida. I love Real America's Voice. They truly speak for the people, and that's what real patriotism is all about.
Florida Sun Goddess here. Let me tell you why I love RAV. They let my voice be heard. They give me a platform for community so I don't feel alone. Thanks so much. God bless.
Mama Love in northern Minnesota. You know, a collective voice is much louder than a single voice. Thanks, Rav, for giving us a place to chat and connect. See y'all in chat.
All right. Here we go back. It's like we've seen this movie before, right? I mean, I don't think anybody wants to go back to March of 2020. I think it was the 13th of March that the president, Donald Trump, in his first term, declared a national emergency. Oh, the world just went sideways. And the Democrat governors, oh, they took that power to their heads. Dr. Stephen Quay is a physician, scientist, and public health expert who has testified before the United States Senate on COVID origins, lab safety, biosecurity risks, and more. Doctor, thank you for being here.
Be here, Steve.
I bring this to people's attention. Now, I think this is pronounced the Nipah virus. There's an outbreak overseas, and airports are reverting to COVID-era screening measures. What is this virus? Why do I need to pay attention to it, or do I? What is it?
Okay, look, I don't think, the top line is I don't think you need to pay attention to it. Very deadly virus, 40 to 75% lethal, but very hard to transmit. We have 2 cases in India in nurses who took care of a woman who died of Nipah December 22nd. Nurses caught it around middle of January. 196 contacts of that woman are all negative. So that gives you a sense of how difficult it is to transmit this. So India says it's contained. I would say another week to be sure of that, but this is not going to come to our shores.
So why do they revert? Look, virions are so tiny that these masks that we were forced to wear, it's like trying to contain marbles with a chain link fence. The virions, they pass through these masks. It was a terrible measure. Standing 6 feet away from somebody, irrelevant. All these things we did, closing the garden department in Michigan stores but leaving the grocery store open, just silly things that happen. I go down a whole list of these things. If these are not proven public health measures that have efficacy, why do they just revert right to it?
I don't know. I think you may be asking a political question, not a medical question. You are correct that before the COVID outbreak, we knew that every one of those measures was ineffective in stopping respiratory virus transmission. Yet they did them anyway.
Yeah. So, and you make a great point, Doctor. The problem here is the science is often perverted by politics. There's just no question about it. Whether it's the vaccines, which we know now were very dangerous to a lot of people, and it was covered up. We know that pharma was protected, insulated from any backlash financially. Nobody could sue Big Pharma. They could do as they please. We see all these massive amounts of childhood vaccinations that, look, have not been proven to be medically safe and effective on many occasions, right? I think the childhood vaccine schedule is 79 recommended at the high end. It's been scaled back to 11. I mean, the trust in public health so-called experts has been diminished tremendously because of all this political interloping into science, right?
Well, I would agree with you, Steve, up until about a year ago. But Secretary Kennedy is doing an amazing job in just a single year in really changing the whole perspective on what we think is health and medicine and the like. So if he has another 3 years or maybe even longer in his position, making America healthy again is going to be a reality.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, look, just officially tossing out the food pyramid was a brilliant move. I mean, I haven't followed the food pyramid my entire life. It wasn't too hard to figure out that 11 servings of pasta would make you tubby. I mean, that wasn't too hard to figure out, was it, Doctor?
Well, that's right. Yes. No, it's not. I mean, we have essential fats. We have essential proteins. We have no essential sugars, and yet carbohydrate is a major component of our diet. So he sort of inverted the pyramid, which was a nice move. And, you know, the number one food provider in the country is the school lunch programs. And so a foundational change in that, which he is trying to put in place, will have, you know, a decades of benefit down the road. As we're approaching, you know, a third of our 18-year-olds are obese. Most of the young boys can't pass the military entrance physical exams and the like.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. We're for the most advanced country on earth in many respects, man, we are the least healthy, aren't we? I mean, and that's why Robert Kennedy Jr. said there is a war on sugar. I read a book, The Case Against Sugar, years ago, and everything that I read in that book seemed to be spot on. You know, sugar increases serum cholesterol. It feeds tumors. It does all these terrible things. When the mass ingestion of sugar that we have in the Western Hemisphere is detrimental to our health, isn't it?
Yeah, it is probably the number one change. If you could only do one thing to change, it would be cutting sugar out of your diet. You know what? You know how the glaze on the turkey looks at Thanksgiving? Yeah. That's what sugar does in your body. It's a specific chemical reaction. Does it slowly over decades, but that's what you should picture happening, you know, every time you have an extra teaspoon of sugar.
So I have doctors like you on this program consistently since Bobby was put into the position he's in Health and Human Services. And to a man and to a woman, they say the same things you're saying. Man, he's doing the right things. Why is he so vilified by others?
Well, you know, I don't know. I mean, obviously he's going against, you know, big pharma, big food. A lot of these conglomerate, you know, multinational companies make money keeping us sick, make money providing cheap food that is literally addictive by the you know, the physiological standards of addiction. Some of the packaged foods that you can buy, you know, at the 7-Eleven while you're pumping your gas have the same addictive properties. So he's going against all of that. He wants natural food in the food chain, and so there's money involved, so people are against him.
Yeah. Doctor, I appreciate you being here. These are all important conversations. We talk about health here a lot on this program, and I appreciate you weighing in today, sir.
Well, thank you, Steve. Always a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Yeah, look, we're not a healthy lot, I'm sorry to say, but refined sugar, carbohydrates, all of that stuff in massive amounts was never healthy, was never a good idea. More protein. Eat real food. That's it. Just eat real food. All right? I'll take a break and be right back.
When the lights go down, the truth comes out.
This is built like a chicken McNugget, but...
This is After Hours with Alex Stein. No filter.
You're a globalist. You don't care about America.
No apologies.
You're a pro-abortion when you should have been aborted.
The undisputed king of trolling.
I was recently sexually assaulted within the metaverse.
I want to vaccinate your mom.
They tried to cancel us.
Deplatforming works.
She wants to kill babies, but she's still beautiful. Look at that booty on AOC. That's my favorite big booty Latina.
Politics, culture, hypocrisy.
They want them to have their penises cut off.
Uncensored and uncontrolled.
Cut your penis off, Max. That's what I'm saying. They admit they want to cut people's penises off.
Late night just got dangerous. After Hours with Alex Stein. Coming soon to Real America's Voice.
This This holiday season, Real America's Voice is proud to partner with our friends at Angel Studios for a special giveaway you won't want to miss. As they launch season 2 of their hit series Homestead, we're giving you the chance to win an exclusive Homestead hat absolutely free. Everyone who becomes an Angel Guild member using our link is automatically entered to the contest. When you join, you're supporting meaningful pro-American storytelling, and you're supporting RAV at the same time. Scan the QR code on your screen right now, or text the word RAV Angel to 75802. After you scan or text, make sure you follow the steps provided. When you complete the steps and join the Angel Guild, you'll be automatically entered to win that exclusive Homestead hat, a perfect holiday gift for yourself or someone you love.
Be one of the first 50 people to sign up and win a hat automatically. Hurry while there's still time.
So scan that QR code or text RAV Angel to 75802. Happy holidays from all of us at RAV.
My name is Phoebe, and I live in Florida. I love Real America's Voice. They truly speak for the people, and that's what real patriotism is all about.
Florida Sun Goddess here. Let me tell you why I love RAV. They let my voice be heard. They give me a platform for community so I don't feel alone. Thanks so much. God bless.
All right, back to it now. For the first time in years, we're going to open an embassy in Venezuela. More than 7 years since we've had one there in Caracas. Laura Dogu arrived in Caracas now with diplomatic personnel to reopen the U.S. Embassy there. Ready to get to work, she wrote on social media. The Venezuelan regime's main state-owned radio station, RNV, reports that Dogu was welcomed by Foreign Minister Ivan Gil, who on a social media post indicated that the American diplomat's arrival, part of a working agenda between both countries, quote, aimed at establishing a roadmap for work on matters of bilateral interest, as well as addressing and resolving existing differences through diplomatic dialogue and on the basis of mutual respect in international law. All right, so you got that going on. Meanwhile, how about this? Here's another. I can get all these headlines every day. I don't get to a lot of them, which is sad because there's so. We could do this show for 12 hours a day. I could. Here's one. A major bust in San Francisco. 9 secret drug and gambling dens busted disguised as convenience stores. Slot machines, cash, methamphetamines, guns, cash, ammunition, all of that. All in the Tenderloin district of San Francisco. Masquerading as convenience stores. They were convenient, all right, to drug dealers and gamblers. Hey, look, that's what it was, drug dealers and gamblers. Anthony, if you're looking for something to do for the weekend, I got you lined up here. Except they're closed. Sorry. The fun police came and shut it off. Anyhow, magnets for drug activity. Some cases they're selling illegal drugs. Right at the convenience store. I'll take one of those and 3 of those. Stand on the corner and drool. Yeah, and you wonder why they're defecating on the streets of San Francisco. You don't have to wonder anymore. Now you know. Anyhow, it just feels like when I see stories like this, I feel like we're making some progress in this country when it comes to taking our cities back. And it's so you cannot make America great unless you save the great cities that are in so much peril. We'll take a break. I appreciate you being here. You can always follow on YouTube, by the way. Become a subscriber. I think he's going to put it right there. It is. Look at that QR code. Click that. You become a subscriber on YouTube, and you become my hero today. 2 more hours to come of the Steve Gruber Show. We'll be right back.
When the lights go down, the truth comes out.
This is built like a chicken McNugget, but...
This is After Hours with Alex Stein. No No filter.
You're a globalist. You don't care about America.
No apologies.
You're a pro-abortion when you should have been aborted.
The undisputed king of trolling.
I was recently sexually assaulted within the metaverse.
I want to vaccinate your mom.
They tried to cancel us.
Deplatforming works.
She wants to kill babies, but she's still beautiful. Look at that booty on AOC. That's my favorite big booty Latina.
Politics, culture, hypocrisy.
They want them to have their penises cut off.
Uncensored and uncontrolled.
Cut your penis off, Max. That's what I'm saying. They admit they want to cut people's penises off.
Late night just got dangerous. After Hours with Alex Stein. Coming soon to Real America's Voice.
This holiday season, Real America's Voice is proud to partner with our friends at Angel Studios for a special giveaway you won't want to miss.